Are you really in God's presence? And is he really with you when you pray? Yeah, that was one of the questions I truly had as a new believer in Christ. Like, I struggled to try to figure out if I was in God's presence or if I wasn't. I feel like this was the number one thing that I overthought when it came to being a new believer in Christ. Like, am I in the presence of God? Am I not in the presence of God? Like, I struggle with this. And truly, I think that because we are people, we are human, we love things that are tangible, things that we can feel, things that we can see, like things that are at hand's reach. And one thing about God and this whole kingdom walk, it's all in faith. You're not going to always see, you're not going to always feel. And I really had to get that understanding because we look for the tangible things so much that we forget about the actual things that come from God's presence, these gifts that God has given us, like joy, peace, soundness of mind, refreshing, liberty. These things God also gives. These things are only found in his presence. True joy is in God's presence. True peace is in his presence because it's something that only he can give us. True refreshing and renewal of the mind, those are the things that Jesus and Jesus alone gives. And as a new believer, I physically felt the presence of God. I felt the fire of God on the inside. I would cry, and when I cried, I thought those were signs that I was in his presence. They are, but they're not limited to the only way that we know that we are in God's presence. And there was a certain season that came to pass that I didn't necessarily feel the presence of God. I wasn't crying as much. I didn't physically feel the fire of God on me. So I questioned if I was in God's presence. I questioned if I did something wrong. Did I mess up somewhere along my walk? Like, what happened that I was no longer physically feeling the presence of God? And I got counsel. I asked my pastor, I was like, I really don't feel the presence of God anymore. Like, I don't feel the fire. And she told me that it's not about what you feel, but it's about what you know. And when she said that, I had to think, what do you know? I know the truth is that Jesus says that he will never forsake me nor leave me. So the next time I got into the presence of God, I remembered that truth. It wasn't about what I seen, but it was about what I knew, that he would never forsake me. So each time that, I went into the presence, I believed his word again. Even when he says that if you draw close to me, I'll draw close to you. That's a promise. So surely if I hang on to the promises of God, he will meet me where I need to be met. So I believed it. I went on doing my devotional. I went on in prayer and worship, and I believed that God was with me, and he would give me signs, but it wasn't the tangible ones that I thought I should receive. It was peace. It was soundness of mind. He would give me revelation. He would give me a refreshing. He would give me comfort. This is how I knew that I had come from the presence of God, because these are the things that only God can give us. He showed up in peace. He also showed up in giving me strength for my day-to-day task. He showed up in giving me a new perspective. He showed up every single time. So if you're in a season of questioning, if you're in the presence of God, look no further than the fruit. The fruit. When you do devotion and when you pray, do you feel peace? Do you feel joy? That's how you know you are in his presence. Look at the fruit. It's not about the feeling. It's not about the tangible things, but it's about his presence. I hope this encourages you.